guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So I do have my hair and makeup done because I had my trial today for my wedding. So this is a trial for my wedding day makeup and hair. So that's why I look a little bit different. It's why I look way more glam than I usually look, but I think this turned out really pretty. I have like a full braid going around my hair and my makeup is done all glam, and I figured, you know what? Let's not waste this look and let's film a video. So I have a bunch of scary stories that I want to read. Also, if you live in the Edmonton area and you're getting married in the next year or so, this is from Beauty Boss. It was the two owners that did my hair and makeup today. So if you guys are interested and you're on the hunt for hair and makeup for your wedding, I highly recommend checking them out. I'll link them down below, their Instagram, so you guys can see their page. But I am in love with this look and I think it turned out beautiful and I feel beautiful and I'm very excited to film a scary story while this makeup is on my face. I have a bunch of Reddit stories saved and I'm ready to read them if my Reddit will open. So this is from the paranormal encounter section. It is from the Reddit author HatCharming6202 and it's titled "An Entity Saved My Life." So this happened 3 years ago when I was 15. I was walking home after seeing my friends and I stopped for a minute to grab my phone out of my bag. Everything was normal until I heard a female voice in my head telling me to run. I was more concerned about the fact that I suddenly started hearing voices when 2 seconds later I hear it again. But this time she's screaming, "Run," at the top of her lungs. It had such an impact, it was like something pushed me. I started running like crazy. Then reality kicked in and I stopped running and I thought, what did I just hear? Why am I hearing this? I looked behind me and I kid you not, that's when a car crashed exactly where I stood before. From what it looked like, I would have had my legs crushed into a wall. I don't know who that entity was or what it was, and I believe maybe it was a family member as she has the same accent as me. So that is really creepy and really scary, and I'm super glad that you didn't get hurt, but holy crap, that is really, really, really weird. And I'm glad that whoever was looking out for you was looking out for you because it sounds like you have a guardian angel of some sort, and that's really freaky. The next one is from the Paranormal Encounters again, and it's from the Reddit author Competitive-Camp-529, and it's titled, "Shadow People Won't Leave Me Alone." I keep having strange experiences with shadow people periodically, and I wanted to know if anyone else has had similar encounters or if there's an explanation for any of this. This isn't the first time it's happened. I was around 16 and I woke up in the middle of the night to use the washroom. And when I walked into the hallway, I caught a glimpse of a tall, human-shaped figure standing at the end of the hallway, kind of hugging the corner with only half of its body showing, with no distinct features, just its silhouette. And when I looked at it, the shadow dipped behind the corner. I brushed it off as just a weird sleep paralysis thing, or maybe my mind playing tricks on me. But over the years, the encounters have continued. Mostly in dark or dimly lit areas, sometimes during the day, while in the corner of my eye, rarely directly in front of me. The weird part is, these figures interact with me by moving when I look at them, and they just exist in the space. I get this heavy, suffocating feeling when they're around me. I've heard people talk about shadow people like the Hat Man or the lady in the black dress in paranormal groups, and some descriptions line up with what I've experienced. From what I've read, some people claim that these are manifestations of negative energy, while others people believe it's linked to sleep paralysis or neurological conditions. But the eerie part is the sense of being watched and the discomfort and feeling I get when I do see them. I'm curious if anyone else has ever seen these or have any insight on what they could be. I'm trying to figure it out if it's a psychological phenomenon or something more supernatural. Anyone else ever experienced something like this? What do you think they are? Or am I just going crazy? I've definitely had things dart in my house out of the corner of my eye, and I always think that I'm seeing things, and then when I look, there's nothing ever there, and I don't really know. I think it might just be a phenomenon that happens to literally everybody. But if you believe in shadow people, then they definitely could be shadow people. I can't tell you for certain what they are, but shadow people definitely are a thing and people see them all over the world globally and they're really fucking creepy. So the next story that I'm going to read is from the Glitch in the Matrix section, and it's from the Reddit author KittleCat357, and it's titled, "I ate a piece of bread that didn't exist." So a few years ago, I woke up and I went out to the kitchen where my mom was. I was wide awake and I sat down at the table. The plate was in front of me. On the other side of the room, my mom was at the stove, cooking these tortilla bread things for me, like she had been doing for the past few days. Almost immediately, after sitting down and waiting, she walked up to me, completely silent, and put a single tortilla on my plate. She then walked up to the counter where she continued making more. I thanked her for it, and before I ate it, I stared at it. and I paid attention to how it looked. Like the parts where it had browned and not, and its shape. It was perfect. I ate it, leaving no trace of crumbs or anything on my plate, and then I said thanks again, and I said that it tasted perfect. She didn't respond to me, and I assumed because she was still busy making more. I kept talking to her about how perfect the tortilla was, and she didn't really say anything. Finally, she said that she didn't give me any of the tortillas yet. I thought she was trying to trick me, but then I stood up and walked over to the counter, and she hadn't even finished making any of them. She hadn't even finished forming the dough. I was completely confused, and I still am. I had no proof that she had even given it to me, and she said she didn't respond when I first thanked her and said how good it tasted because she didn't know what I was talking about. To her, I had just randomly said that, and she never had even walked over to me yet, or finished making any of them. I sat down very confused, and then I stood back up again, and at that moment, she had actually finished making the first tortilla. It was still in the pan, and when I looked at it, it looked identical to the one I had claimed to have eaten minutes ago. I still don't know what happened that day. That's really strange. That definitely is a glitch in the Matrix. I have quite literally no explanation for you. That is just very bizarre and not very scary, but still really weird. The next story that I'm going to read is from the creepy encounter section, and it's from the Reddit author optimal_law_2497, and it's titled Creepy Encounter with a Stranger. Tonight, my girlfriend and I had a brief but deeply unsettling experience in the lobby of a historic building in downtown Oklahoma City. It was bitterly cold and windy outside, and we had just returned from the OKC Thunder game, heading to the hotel where my mother was staying. The time was around 8:30 p.m. when we stepped into the lobby. To set the scene, the hotel occupies the only First National Bank building and has been painstakingly restored to reflect its original opulence. The floors are polished marble, the decor lavish, invoking a sense of grandeur from a bygone era. In the middle of the lobby stands a staircase leading to an upper level, bustling with activity, a check-in desk, a restaurant, warm lighting, and the hum of conversations. But in the lobby by the valet, the atmosphere was starkly different. It was cold, eerily quiet. And that's when I noticed him. Leaning against a pillar by the staircase was a man. He appeared to be looking down at his phone, holding it in both hands as though texting. My glance was brief at first, until the phone slipped from his grip and hit the marble floor with a sharp crack. But he didn't move. His hands remained suspended in the same position, as though he were still holding the phone. Confused, I thought maybe he'd fallen asleep standing up or something. My eyes darted to the ground where the phone lay, then back up towards his face. That's when I saw it. He was staring directly at me. And the look on his face, it was pure disgust. Not the kind of anger you see when someone's been wronged, but something far darker, hollow and malevolent. His eyes burned with a rage so intense it sent a shiver down my spine. It was the kind of look that makes your stomach churn, the kind that makes you instinctively want to look away. And I did. Trying to shake off the unease, we waited for the elevator. When it finally arrived, curiosity got the better of me, and I stole a glance back towards the pillar. He was still there, staring at me. His gaze bore into me like a physical weight, and I hurriedly stepped into the elevator, the doors closing on the unnerving scene. When we reached my mother's room, I asked if she'd noticed the man, and she hadn't. When I explained what had happened, she brushed it off. My girlfriend, though, had seen him. She didn't see the phone drop, but she certainly caught the look, the same expression of pure disgust directed at us. After a few minutes, we left and headed back to our car. As the elevator door slid open, my heart raced. I didn't want to look, but I couldn't help it. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see him. He was still there, still staring. My girlfriend confirmed it later. She locked eyes with him too, the same exact expression of disdain. As we walked through the lobby and down the sidewalk, I couldn't resist one last glance back through the glass doors. He had now turned, and he was fully facing us now. His eyes locked into mine as if following us out into the night. His face was chilling. I don't know, just uncomfortable, and it was wrong. Something about it felt deeply, instinctively threatening. The moment we turned to the corner, we broke into a sprint, running to our car and locking the doors as soon as we got inside. He thankfully didn't follow us. But even now, hours later, the memory of his face still lingers. What do you think was going on? Drugs or something else entirely? I don't exactly know. People are just really strange. Like, I always say that paranormal stories are really creepy, but like, humans are worse. Humans are way more creepy than most paranormal stories that I've read because you just don't know what the fuck is going on in some people's heads, and you don't know why people do the things that they do. And we interact with humans on the daily, and they just scare the shit out of me. So I would say that that was just really creepy, and I don't know. I can't tell you what happened there, but I'm sorry that you had to go through that. That is fucking terrifying. This is from the ghost story section. It's from the Reddit author, the_accountant, and it's titled, Weird Things Keep Happening Around Our House. I've been living in my current house for almost 3 years, 2 of those with my current girlfriend. It's a 4-story townhouse built in the late 70s. Since about 1.5 years, we've been having weird things happen around here, some of which we don't have any rational explanation for. It first started in the summer of 2020 when the 12-year-old daughter of a friend of ours was staying with us. She and my girlfriend wanted to watch a horror movie, and I think the movie my girlfriend chose was way too scary for a young kid. After the movie, we went to bed, and after a few moments laying down, still awake, we heard knocking on the bedroom door. Since we just assumed it was the girl scared of the movie we had just watched, my girlfriend went to open the bedroom door, but there was nobody there, and the girl was asleep in her bed. The door knocking has happened a few more times since then, always roughly between midnight and 1 a.m. I have texted the neighbors several times if it was possible that they made the noise, but they claim to be asleep at that hour. Plus, it really is a distinctive knock on the door sound coming from close by. We have been joking about the house being haunted and named it Casper. Usually, we talk jokingly about it, but whenever we hear the knock in the middle of the night, we take it more seriously. Somewhere last year, I think early October, my girlfriend's sister was staying with us, and one morning she said she heard a female voice say Katharina in the middle of the night, the name of their grandmother. We hadn't told her yet about our ghost theory. And last summer when I came home, I walked towards my house and I noticed my girlfriend's sister walking towards the front door and going in. I didn't know she was visiting us that day. When I came in and dropped off my stuff, my girlfriend and her sister came home from the supermarket less than a minute later. But she had entered before me. Yet she was wearing the same clothes I had just seen her wear when I saw her enter the house. This evening, I was taking a shower and I heard noises outside the room. I assumed it was my girlfriend, and I asked her if she wanted to watch a movie with me later. She answered yes. Next, I said, I love you, and she answered, amor mio, in Spanish, as she usually does. As I walked out of the bathroom, I checked to see if she was in the bedroom, but she wasn't. I also checked the other rooms on the same floor, and she wasn't there either. I went downstairs and she was sitting at the dining table. I asked her if she was just upstairs and she said no. I asked her if she had heard me from downstairs and she didn't know what I was talking about. She wasn't the one answering back to me. I really don't know what to think of any of this. I'm not religious or superstitious and neither is my girlfriend. A year ago, I really considered contacting paranormal investigators, but I ended up not doing it due to skepticism from my side. Right now, I'm again considering to contact them. But I really wonder what value do they add. There doesn't seem to be any science behind it, and suppose they do say that there's a ghost in my house. How serious should I take that, and what do I do with that information? Preferably, I would like to speak to a research team connected to a university or something like that, but I don't think there's any serious scientific research to this topic. Probably because ghosts aren't real, and there should be a logical explanation for all of this. But 2 things cannot be rationally explained to me. The knocking is something both me and my girlfriend have heard at the same time, so it wasn't in our heads. And how can it be that her sister was actually wearing the same clothes I just saw her in if I hadn't seen her before that day and didn't even know she was there? Anybody got any advice or credible institutions to try to study paranormal phenomena from a real scientific point of view, preferably linked to a credible university, or any other advice regarding my or your experiences? So this story sounds very familiar. If I've read it before on the channel, I'm sorry for repeating it, but it was added into I haven't used this story yet, so I'm hoping that I'm just remembering it from the first time I read it, but that's really freaking creepy, and I don't like that. The last story that I'm going to read is from the Paranormal Encounter section. It's from the Reddit author I'm Weird 3000, and it's titled, There's an Entity Living in My Sister's Closet. About 2 years ago, my older sister would spend almost all of her time in her bedroom. I was an annoying sister, so whenever she was in there, I would love to pop my head in and say hi. She was never that annoyed by me hanging out, but I started to realize that I couldn't spend much time in there without feeling sick. I would either get a headache or start to feel nauseous. My sister and I used to joke about this and say that my sister's room just had bad vibes. After a while, we started to notice that our dogs also wouldn't spend more than a couple of minutes in her room at a time. After a while, I started to notice things about my sister's behavior. She slept with her door open and her lights on. She always seemed drained and honestly was becoming quite paranoid. She admitted to thinking that she would hear things, voices, whispers, etc. And our grandmother lives with us and is quite religious. Apparently, one day, my grandmother was in my sister's closet hanging out clothes for her and felt something breathe in her ear. I didn't witness this, but my 2 older sisters said that they heard our grandmother screaming and crying from downstairs. They both went to check on her and found her pacing my sister's bedroom with a Bible in her hand, yelling at whatever was in her bedroom that it was not welcome. I don't get headaches or nausea in the room anymore, and the dogs feel comfortable enough to take naps in there now. Oh my God, I'm so glad your grandmother was there to basically cleanse the space and get whatever it was out of there. That is so fucking creepy. This is where I'm going to end the video because these have been creepy enough and I need to edit this and post this for you guys. But I'm sorry, I'm getting really tongue-tied today and it's driving me nuts and I just cannot read any more stories. So this is where I'm going to end the video. If you guys did enjoy this video and you want to help me boost my video on the algorithm, leave me a little ghost emoji in my comment section below. It also helps me boost on the algorithm to let them know that you guys are actually watching and engaging with my videos. Also, please feel free to like and share this video around to anyone that you think may enjoy my content. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.